so I can send this out to you guys after. But like I said, we've got an hour. So a couple things that I had seen from you and Teresa in the email. We want to talk about permission levels and then go through the sheet uploading, numbering, titling process, kind of walk through that, and then take a look at the sheet markups and hyperlinking. So does that sound good to you guys? Is there anything else in specific you wanted to see today?
Mm, this is opened up to all who's attending. If you guys
Yep.
want to see anything else, please speak up.
Yeah, and if you guys think of anything while I'm going, feel free to just unmute yourself, jump in with any questions. We've got the chat box in this call as well that Teresa and I can help answer any questions in there.
Yeah,
but yeah,
since we have a number of people on as well, feel free to throw them in and I'll kind of keep an eye on it too. So, and of course, never hesitate to chime in, everybody.
cool. Thank you, Teresa. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. And I'm just gonna jump in since we've just got an hour, and any questions, send them our way. But I'm just gonna log into my PlanGrid right now and create a demo project. And I can add you guys to this project as well in case you guys want to practice with any markups or reporting, anything like that, just so it's not on one of your real projects and you guys can have a like practice environment. But I know you guys have been using PlanGrid a bit, so you might feel more comfortable in your own projects. But I'm just gonna call this project, got HDOT training project, and put in our address here. And I won't spend too much time, but I like to put in the job site address just so that the weather information pulls into our daily reports and on our home screen. And let's just create this project. So now we're in our project. We've got two ways to start bringing sheets into PlanGrid. One is right from our home screen here. And there's this button down under the project links that says plus sheets. So if you need to, just a quick shortcut to add sheets, you can click this button here. Same thing if you need to add team members, you've got a quick link from this home screen as well. Otherwise, over on the left-hand side, for those of you who are newer to PlanGrid, we have this navigational toolbar. So we could click into the sheet section, view all of our sheets in the project from here, as well as upload new sheets from here. And then same thing down at the bottom, we've got this team section. And this is where we can start adding team members into our projects, defining their permission level. So I am going to come back to this team section and come back to permission levels. But for now, I want to start with just adding sheets to our project, because once we have those drawings in there and can make markups, that's when these permission levels might make a bit more sense. So let's just hop back to our sheets for now. We can say, hey, the architect sent us a for construction set of drawings. We want to get those in PlanGrid for the field to have access to. We can just hit upload sheets here. And right from the beginning, we have two options. We can upload a new version set of drawings, or we can slip sheet into an existing version set of drawings. So I'll come back to this existing version set, but typically whenever you get a new set of drawings, you're going to want to keep this new version set selected. And then we have to fill out two things about this version set. The first is the issuance date. And then next is the version set name. So issuance date is really important. You can put the date that the design team sends you these drawings, or sometimes if you scroll in on the PDF set of drawings, you know, bottom corner of the drawings or whatever, it might have that issuance date listed on the drawings. So you could just copy that date. But it's important you get an accurate date in here, because every future set of drawings that you upload into PlanGrid is going to be sorted, where PlanGrid's going to show you the most current version of any drawing that you upload. And that's based on this issuance date here. So we can say, all right, we got issued some architectural drawings, maybe our full construction set on March 1st. So I'll plug that in there. And I'll call this the IFC issued for construction set, but you can label this however you guys need to on your projects. And then I'll click next. And from here, we can either drag and drop our PDF drawings into this section or just select them from our computer. So I'm just going to select from my computer here. And I do have some sample drawings. So I'm just going to upload this IFC set of drawings into PlanGrid. And PlanGrid's going to upload these, and then it's going to scan through the whole set of drawings. And what it's going to do is actually search through the text of each sheet within the PDF packet. And it's going to actually look for the sheet numbers on each sheet. So PlanGrid's OCR usually does a pretty good job at this. You guys can see it automatically numbered every sheet in my drawing set. And if you take a look over on the left-hand side, there's like a highlighted box and then a close-up view. So it's just showing you where it pulled that sheet number from. So as a best practice, you can just scroll through, make sure PlanGrid did get the sheet numbers correct here. Usually it does a real good job, but just double check. And then once you confirm, I'll say sheet numbers are correct. And then next, what it's going to do is actually automatically title and tag each one of the sheets. So as I scroll through here, we can see that it pulled titles for each one of these sheets as well. Floor plan, RCP, interior elevations. So it automatically labeled every sheet in my drawing as well. Sometimes, if you notice that PlanGrid didn't get the correct sheet titles or nothing populated in any of these boxes and they're blank, you can actually have PlanGrid research the sheets if you need to. So you could go in here, select any of the sheets that it missed the title, and you can actually click this choose area for sheet title extraction. And I can zoom into the title block on the sheet, click this set sheet title area, and draw a box around where we want PlanGrid to scan the sheet and automatically pull that title. So then it'll research those 3 sheets that I checked and pull from that title block. And Keith, I see your comment with your current design standards, sheet numbering is not always automatic, same for sheet titles. So that's okay too. If you're not pulling automatic numbers or titles, you do have the option to click into any of these fields and relabel them however you need to. So that takes a little more manual work just to type in everything. But what you can also do, depending on what your numbering or titling conventions are, like I could select all the sheets and say edit titles. And we can actually add in text before the sheet names. We can add in sheets at the end of the names. You can kind of remove characters from the titles. So you can really edit the titles with these different smart formulas. Let's say, for example, I click add characters and I'll say I'll add characters to the left side of all the titles. I could say like HDOT 2021 dash and add that in there. And now all the titles will have that prefix. So there's a lot of different ways you can customize these titles based on what your standards are. Does that
Like I
make
have
sense?
a question, or maybe it's more for Keith. Kind of just going off everyone's chat, it seems like no one is familiar with PlanGrid, and personally myself as well. But Keith, are you gonna be, or whoever will you folks be putting in the plans for new projects for the engineers or the project itself? Or is this something we're gonna have to do ourselves?
So this is my plan for the, I guess, the initial startup of for like PlanGrid. I was gonna be entering all of the plans for the projects because my thought is this: I want everybody to focus more on, I guess, just using PlanGrid for now. And as time goes on, we'll introduce people to load their own. So you have the option of loading your own. So, but like I said, for in this beginning phase of this e-construction for PlanGrid, I was planning to load up plans for everybody, and then maybe down the road, I don't know how far down the road, but we'll introduce instructions as far as entering you guys' own plans.
Okay, and then are we also gonna get, I guess, more specific training? I saw in the chat as well. I guess there's more beginner. I don't know if it's video or slides, but because yeah, I don't think any of the districts. So I know for the Big Island district, we're not familiar at all with PlanGrid. So I'm not sure what this meeting was intended for. I'm assuming it's for the people who were all selected to be the tech people.
The resource.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
So yeah, I understand that not everybody is familiar or hasn't used PlanGrid, but I figure I'll put this set up this training, have it recorded, and then at least if you guys sit in, you guys can at least get an idea of what PlanGrid can do versus kind of like me just saying, oh, you can do this and this. But if you guys actually visually see it, then I think it's a little more easy to figure out what you can and cannot do with PlanGrid.
Yes,
Totally.
we kind of use this as an exposure point to PlanGrid. And like I said, I'll get you guys some getting started materials. And, as you guys have follow-up questions, I'm your all's customer success manager. So feel free to direct those questions my way so I can help route you to the right resources as well. So we can kind of use this as at least a jumping off point for exposure. How is that kind of your idea, Keith, to summarize?
Yes.
Perfect.
Cool. So yeah, I'll just finish up this sheet uploading, and then I want to go into sheets with you guys and kind of focus on those fundamentals of viewing plans, making your markups, get you guys familiar with that. And then, yeah, we have plenty of material to send out to get you guys started in addition to this as well. But so that's really it for the sheet titling, numbering. PlanGrid also throws on some automatic tags onto your sheets based on the sheet number. So for example, my A sheets got tagged with architectural, C got a civil tag, E electrical, and so on. And that just helps us filter down and quickly find the drawings that we're looking for. So I'm just gonna hit this publish to project button. And now anyone on my PlanGrid team has access to these drawings. So you guys can see all the sheets now show up in our sheets tab. Say we just wanted to click into our basic architectural floor plan. You guys can zoom in or out as close as you need to of these drawings. Really nice thing about PlanGrid is that there's no lag. Nothing takes a long time to load on these drawings like some PDF viewers, for example. But you can navigate through the sheet, zoom in and out. On the right-hand side, we have this full markup toolbar for you guys to make annotations on your drawings. This could be as simple as, making some some comments on the plans, on field conditions. It could be writing some text on the drawings to maybe warn of a potential RFI. And we have some advanced markup tools as well that you guys will start to learn about, but we could actually take measurements on the sheet. We could add progress photos for everyone to see from the job site. We can also assign tasks to our teammates, and we can link to other documents as well. So if I needed to like post an RFI on a sheet, or if I needed to link to a certain spec book, you know, you can link those directly to your plans as well. So a lot of really cool functionality you have right from the sheets themselves. You can use this bottom arrows in the bottom right-hand corner to flip forward and back in your drawings. If we go back to sheets, you can also see I've got this filters section on the right, and that's how we can use those automatic or custom tags to find the drawings we're looking for. So say we have, you know, a really big set. In this case, I've only got 11 sheets, but maybe you just want to see your electrical drawings. You could click on that filter and filter down to see only your electrical drawings, and then just click into those. So right now we're just viewing all this functionality on PlanGrid.com, which is our web version of PlanGrid, but there also is PlanGrid mobile applications. So if you are on an iPhone or iPad, or if you're on an Android or Windows tablet, whatever you might be using in the field, we also have applications that are very similar to the website version. But what I'm going to do is go back to my basic floor plan. And I kind of want to walk you guys through what some of these markups do. And like I said, I'll add you guys to this project as well so that you can go in and practice your own markups after this session, whenever you have some time to play around in the platform. But what we can do is go in, maybe we want to make some notes around these offices. I've got my cloud tool where I can draw clouds on the plans. I've got a basic arrow tool, and I'm just going to quickly kind of go through each of these just to give you guys an idea. I've got a pen tool down here, which just lets me free form.
Yeah. How do I send you that? This try for it,
Oh, do we need somebody off
me?
mute?
One of our guys.
All right, I muted someone. I think they were on the phone, but you could just go through and use this freeform pen tool to draw anything that you want in here. We also have a highlighter tool. So just a lot of different options. These are all pretty basic markup tools that maybe you've seen in other PDF editors, but they're all very quick to use. You'll have access to these on any sheets. If I want to make some text, I can draw my text box and say, type in any note I have, and I can change the text size if I need to. I can change the size of my text box here. I could add borders to that text box. So just a lot of customizations you have on these markups. And just know that any markup you make isn't permanent. You could go in, I can delete any markups at any point. I can customize or move the markups around if I need to. So I could just click and drag this around to move it, or I can change the direction of it. So what I'd recommend for you guys, if you're just getting into PlanGrid, is to go in, make these markups on your own and just practice what each tool does, just to get a better feel for it. And then the last basic markup tool we have, I call them the basic markup tools and the advanced markup tools at the bottom. But we have this shape tool, which lets us draw rectangles, circles, straight lines, or X's on the plans. So you can go in and test any one of these out, but just pretty basic. All kind of different shapes and lines you have available in here. So that's pretty much it with these basic markup tools. Pretty straightforward. The only thing I didn't touch on yet is this finger pointer at the top. And that just lets you select multiple markups at once. So I could click this finger pointer and I can just drag my mouse over any of these markups that I've made. And you can see I selected all 7 of the markups at once. So if I needed to delete them all, I could click delete. And we also have this button that says publish to project. So before I go any further, I want to touch on this option to publish to project. And what we have in PlanGrid is 2 different types of markups. So we have what's called a personal markup and we have a published markup. All of these markups that we've been making so far are going to be personal markups by default. And that means that we are the only person in the PlanGrid project who can see these markups. So personal markups are great if you're just taking notes, maybe tracking field conditions that no one else needs to see, just any kind of personal notes that you don't want published for everyone to view on the drawings. However, if you are making drawings and you want everyone in the project to see those markups, what you can do is actually publish them to the project, and that will make them viewable by everyone. So maybe all these markups that I've made so far, I want my whole team to see. What I can do is click on this finger pointer, and I can just drag my finger through all those different markups we've made, and we'll publish all 10 markups to the project. And you guys can see the markup change to a slightly darker shade. And what that means is now that anyone else in this project who comes on to sheet A101 is going to see all of these markups that I've made here. So does that make sense, guys? The difference between the personal markups and the published markups in PlanGrid?
Can you also unpublish it?
Yep, you can. So if you click in at any point, there's this unpublished button. So you can switch them back and forth between published and personal at any point.
And then once it's published, I guess, or I guess for a project, so there will be one, I guess, plan. And then, so if you have like inspector, 2 inspectors and an engineer, everyone sees the same plans.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's looking into the same sheets. So if there's a lot of published markups, they'll see all those markups on the sheet, but everyone will be looking at the same drawings.
Okay. And then as far as, because I'm assuming we're using this for as-built, so is there a way where we could have 2 separate plans, I guess, for the same project, where one would be for as-built sketches or drawings or markups only, and the other one for like notes, personal notes that you'd want everyone to see?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I've seen different teams track their as-built markups in different ways. Sometimes teams just track all published markups are your as-built markups, and everything that's not published would be, or just your personal markups would be like notes for RFIs or that kind of thing. We also have what's called markup layers, and this is a little more advanced and maybe something you guys want to try out down the road. But if you're using the mobile application of PlanGrid or the Windows application, that's where you can actually use layers, and you can make an as-built layer so that you actually filter all your as-built markups into just an as-built layer, all of your maybe like electrical markups into an electrical layer, and so on, and kind of filter them that way. So that would definitely be something worth checking out, I think. But the only note about that is that the markup layers don't work on plangrid.com. They only work on the application version of PlanGrid. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So we've covered the basic markup tools, personal versus published markups. I want to go into some of the advanced markup tools for you guys, but before I do that, this is a good time to talk about the different permission levels within PlanGrid. So I'm going to switch gears for a moment and jump into the team section of our project. And right now there's only one person in the team, which is myself, since I created the project. And because I'm the creator of the project, I'm automatically a project admin. But we actually have 3 different permission levels that you have access to in PlanGrid. So if we want to add someone to the project, we'll get an overview of what those permission levels are. We have a collaborator, a power collaborator, and an admin. So starting with admin, this is what we are since we created the project. Admins are the only people in the project who can actually upload new sheets. They're the only ones who can upload any other types of documents into PlanGrid. And they're the only ones who can delete sheets as well. So anyone on your project who's directly responsible for document control and uploading those new version sets, they would be an admin. But typically we only recommend to have like 2 or 3 admins per project, just because you don't want someone to accidentally delete anything or upload things when they aren't supposed to. So just try to limit the amount of admins you have on your project to only those people who need that. But right before admin, the slightly lower permission level is what's called a power collaborator. And the power collaborator won't be able to upload or delete any sheets in the project, but they will be able to publish those markups from personal to published. So they will have access to make those markups for everyone on the project to see. So maybe that person on the project who is making those as-built or red line markups on the drawings, they could be given that power collaborator permission level. And then before that, the most basic permission level is collaborator. And basically this is like a view only permission into the project, where they can view all the sheets, view any documents in the project. They can make their own personal markups on sheets, but they can't actually publish those markups or unpublish any markups on the drawings. So basically, they can just only view the project information and make personal markups. So do you guys have any questions about those 3 permission levels? All right. And then if we want to add anyone to our project, whether it's, like an internal person on our team or an external contractor, whoever it may be, we can type in their email here. I'm just going to add Teresa right now. So you can type in their email and hit enter. And you can type in as many emails as you want here. And then just choose the permission level, and I'll make Teresa an admin on this project. And now she will get an invitation email from PlanGrid saying that she's been invited to join my project. And then she'll have full access to everything in the project here. So like I said, I've got your guys' emails in this chat and in the email invite. So I will add you guys all into this project so you guys can make your own markups and and practice anything we've gone over today. But let's jump back to sheets now. And we'll just go back into that floor plan again, since that's where we've been working already. And I want to go over those last 4 advanced markup tools we have. So starting at this chain link here, we've got our hyperlink tool, our ruler tool, our task tool, and then our progress photo tool. So I'm going to start with our progress photo tool. And what I'm actually going to do is switch screens and bring up my iPad screen for you guys. So this is just the mobile application of PlanGrid. Like I said, it looks really similar to the website, but I'm on my iPad now. We can pretend I'm out in the field, and I'll open up this same project. So what we can do is just search for this project on my iPad. And right now you can see it's refreshing just because I haven't gone into PlanGrid for a bit. So hopefully my internet connection is quick enough to pull this up for you guys. Maybe I will exit out and go back in. Shoot. You guys can see down here, my iPad hasn't updated since March 26th. And for some reason, I think I'm just getting a bad internet connection, but there we go. Now it refreshed. Our project shows up. So I'm just going to download this to my iPad real quick. And we can just jump into the same sheet we were working on. So similar view that you guys saw on the website. If you're on a mobile device, we can just tap into whatever sheet we want to access. And all those markups that we've already made from the website are going to show up on our mobile device as well. So I can zoom in with my fingers, pan around. I can still publish markups or unpublish markups. So all that functionality is available to me. But what I want to do is go into those markup tools again. So I'm going to start with the progress photo tool at the bottom. And this tool is really helpful if you're out on site. Maybe you've got your phone, maybe you've got a tablet, whatever you've got. You could click on this photo tool and just stamp a photo onto the plans. So you guys can see this camera icon showed up. And now I can go into the stamp and start adding new photos or videos directly from my mobile device. So say I want to take a new photo. I can click take new photo. I'm out in the field, take that progress photo, and I can click save. And we can add as many photos or videos as we want into this one stamp. So if you're just walking the field and you're tracking all kinds of progress photos, you can just keep putting them into this stamp. We also have at the bottom left this markup button. So if I wanted to take quick markups on the photo, I could do that as well. And then we'll click save. So this is a really great tool for those progress photos. You can make a new stamp for each photo you take, but that's just going to kind of clog up your sheet with all these different camera icons. So I'm going to delete this one, and I like to just have like one photo stamp per sheet about, or maybe if you're put one stamp in each different room, however you want to do it, whatever makes most sense for your project. But now these photos will automatically be saved into this stamp. Right now, this is a personal markup, so only I can see this photo stamp. But if I hit publish, just like with any other markup, now anyone on this sheet will be able to see that photo stamp. So that's it for the photo tool. It's pretty straightforward, but it's a great way to track those progress photos. I see this most commonly used from the field, but you can also make that stamp from your computer in the office and drag in any photos that are on your computer into that stamp as well. Next thing we've got is this ruler tool right above the camera. And this is a great way for taking quick measurements directly on any sheet. So again, this is available on either the application or the website. But before you start taking measurements, you're going to need to scale off of a known measurement on the sheet. So I can scroll around, and in this sheet, I've got some built-in scales available to me. So I know that this wall is 19 foot 5 inches. What I can do is click into my ruler tool, and everything is grayed out right now except this calibrate button. So we're going to click on that, and we're just going to calibrate off of this known measurement. So I can just drag my finger. I'll type in the known measurement, which is 19 foot 5 inches. And if I need to adjust this, I can just tap on that calibration. You really fine tune it to make it accurate. I'll do this on both sides just to make sure we get a really accurate calibration here. And now I can click back into this ruler tool, and I have all these different types of measurements available to me. So if I want to take a straight line measurement, I can just tap on the basic ruler and take this measurement here. I could follow curved lines. So, if I was following like a sidewalk or some kind of curved line on site, I could take that measurement there. I can follow a perimeter if I need to and just tap on the screen. So really all kinds of measurements you can take. And we can even take square footages if we want to. So I can take the areas of different shapes. If I wanted to just take the area of this conference room, I could do so.
I'm on a meeting.
So yeah, you can take those any types of areas. Again, if I'm following some kind of weird shape, you can track that as well. So just a quick tool for any type of measurements that you need to take on a sheet. And you can actually just scale those drawings right from within PlanGrid. So last tool, advanced markup tools that we have are our hyperlinking tool and our task tool. And I know hyperlinking is something Keith had mentioned wanting to look at. So I want to focus on this for a second. Before I go into actually using this hyperlinking tool to create a hyperlink, something cool that you guys will notice on your sheets is that PlanGrid actually creates automatic hyperlinks as well. So if we pan around the sheet, we can see there's all these different types of detail call outs on the sheet. For example, this detail call out is calling detail 2 on sheet A601. And you guys will notice that this is shaded in with this light purple color. And that means PlanGrid recognized that there was a sheet being called out and automatically hyperlinked to it. So what you can do is instead of clicking out of this sheet and finding sheet A601, you can just tap on that detail and there's automatically a link to this other sheet. And I can just tap on that sheet and it's going to bring me over to sheet A601. So that's a really quick way to jump back and forth between, like details and floor plans. And if I needed to get back to the sheet that I just came from, again, I could go back to my sheets, scroll through, or if I'm on any sheet, there's this clock icon at the top. I can tap on that and it shows me a list of my recently viewed sheets. So I just came from sheet A101. I can just tap on that and hop back to my floor plan. Same thing if I wanted to hop back to the detail, I can just click back to that using this recently viewed tool. So that's what's called an automatic hyperlink that PlanGrid does automatically when you upload your sheets, but you can also create your own hyperlinks on any sheet. If you wanted to link to another sheet or even link to a document in your plans, what you could do is go into this hyperlink tool and we can draw a shape. So I can draw a cloud, a circle, or a square. I'll just draw a cloud for this one and draw that on my plans. And you guys can see if we have a sheet, document, or RFI stored in our plans, we can link it directly to this sheet. So in this project, I actually don't have any documents posted, but within PlanGrid, you can store any types of documents, whether it's, meeting minutes or spec books, RFIs, submittals, whatever types of documents you have, you can store those in PlanGrid, and then you can link them directly to your sheets. So maybe a better place to show this real quick is if I jump into another project that I've got. Let's see. I'm just going to jump into another sheet here, and I have some documents in this project. So I could draw my hyperlink, draw the cloud. And if I click over to this document section, I can see all the different documents I have on my project. So maybe I just want to link the project schedule to this sheet. I'll click done. Now we have this hyperlink, so we can jump to that schedule directly from the sheet. So if I just tap on this link, this thumbnail will pop up for me, and I can just tap my finger on the image and it pulls open that schedule for me. So whatever type of documents that you think might be useful for the field, you want to pin them directly to your drawings, you can use that hyperlinking tool. Any questions about that? All right, well, the last markup tool that I want to show you guys for today, and this is a really powerful tool. A lot of information I could show you guys, but I just want to keep this simple and kind of give you an overview of what it can do. It's called the task tool. And I'm going to jump back into the project that we came from. So I'm going to go back in, and we can actually click on this task tool, which looks like a check mark with some lines through it. And I can click into here, and we have all these different types of stamps that we can put on the plans, depending on what kind of task we're going to assign. And these are just some of the stamps that come standard in every PlanGrid project, but we can totally customize any of these stamps. You can make stamps based on the trades of work, make stamps based on the company that you're assigning them to. Maybe you're doing a punch list out in the field and you want to track all those punch list items. You can use this task tool. But basically, tasks can be used to track any type of assigned work or issue within the project. So maybe I am doing punch list and I have this cleaning needed task. Maybe I want to put that cleaning needed in one of my rooms and prep it before we do some punch list. So I could go in and I could go into my task tool, click cleaning needed, and drop that directly on the plans. And now I can actually choose to assign this task to someone on my project. So say I want to assign this task to Teresa. And I can go through, I can choose start date and due date of the task. I can type in a description about what's going on here. I can add in photos and videos. If there's a cost or schedule impact, you can really fill out as much detail as you want to in this task so that whoever you assign it to, they'll get notified about that task, and then they can go address the work that you're assigning to them. So there's a lot of really cool ways on how to track these tasks and make reports based off of the tasks. I won't go into too much detail on that yet, since I know a lot of you guys are just getting introduced to PlanGrid. But if we switch back to the website version here on the screen, and I'll refresh my page on the website, you guys will notice all these different markups that I made on my iPad automatically sync to the website. So those photos that I pinned on from my iPad, that task that I created shows up, all the measurements. So the cool thing about PlanGrid is that no matter where you are or whoever's making these markups, they're all going to sync in real time across all the different devices and all the different team members on the project.
Are you able to
One
work
last thing.
offline?
Yes.
Okay.
So sorry, what was that? You asked about offline.
Yeah, so like if you're using like the iOS app or whatnot, and let's say that you have no service, like are you still able to go into PlanGrid, make your annotations or whatever, and then when there is I guess service, it syncs then, or do you
Yep.
have to have service the whole time?
No, you actually described it perfectly. So if you don't have service, you're out in the field, you don't have Wi-Fi, you'll still have full access to the project as long as you've downloaded it to your device once. So basically you have to download the project to your device, and then no matter where you are, whether or not you have service, you can go in, view all the plans, make all the markups you need to. And then as soon as you reconnect to internet, then all of those markups will automatically sync.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Couple last things I want to show you guys. There's some other tools on the left-hand side here. We have this photos tool. In any photos that I've added to any of those progress photo stamps, regardless of which sheet they were on, they're all going to populate in this photo gallery. So I could go in and click in and view any of those progress photos. I can see which sheet they came from. I can see if my mobile device had GPS, I can see exactly where the photo was taken. So you guys can see the pin on the map where I'm at there. But this just helps you kind of track if you're on a large site, long stretch of road, you can see exactly where those photos were taken. So all of your photos will live in this photo gallery. Similarly, any tasks that we create on any sheet are going to all live in this task log. So we can see we've only got that one task that we created, but that will show up in this log. I can click into it, change any of the information I need to. If I want to close out this task because the work was taken care of, I can switch the status to closed and save that. And you'll notice it's now got a strike through it, meaning it's a closed task. So a lot of different functionality you'll have available to you. Any documents that you want stored in PlanGrid, you can click into this document section. And we support, over 50 different types of files in PlanGrid. So any type of file you have, you can go in here, you can make a folder structure, upload new files as needed. And no matter what type of license you have within PlanGrid, all of you will have unlimited storage in this document section. So every license comes with unlimited document storage. If you want to back up all the files you have in your project, you can put them all in PlanGrid, and then everyone in the project will have access to these right from within the platform. And then a couple last things I'll point out to you guys. We won't go into too much detail since we're coming up towards the end of the hour. We have a tool called Field Reports, and this lets you generate daily reports, safety inspections, timesheets, any type of reports that you guys are filling out on your project, you can bring them in as custom templates into PlanGrid so that your team can fill out those reports from plangrid.com or even from their mobile device in the field. So when I was working in construction, my superintendents would use PlanGrid to do all their daily reports. They would just fill out the reports throughout the day on their iPads, take photos, assign tasks in those reports, and then submit those reports at the end of the day. So just another thing to keep in mind as you guys are learning more about PlanGrid. Feel free to go in. We include some sample reports in every PlanGrid project. So for example, we've got a sample daily report. You can go in, pulls in the weather information. You can track your work log, materials, equipment, add references to any tasks or photos, like I said. You can even require a signature if you want. So just a lot of functionality within this field reporting function as well. But with that, I know we've got about 5 minutes left. Probably a lot of information for you guys, especially if you're just getting your first look into PlanGrid. But is there any other questions you guys have for me at the moment? Maybe Keith, is there anything that you want to add or anything that you saw today that you want the team to focus on?
So I guess for just the use of it, just practice, if you guys do have the time, practice with the markups, because we are looking at using PlanGrid for our as-built. The hyperlinks, so the intent was we're going to import, since we have the integration with Fax, we were looking at using the hyperlinks to provide documentations for, you can do hyperlinks for your sample cards, especially, like your mix design, concrete mix designs, your rebar certifications, where inspectors can actually just pop into the plans and be able to check or verify or confirm the actual mixes that's going to be poured for any particular piece of work. So that is, I guess, part of the intentions of using a lot of the hyperlinks on PlanGrid.
Awesome.
Hey, Blake, this is Art from Highway M.
Hey, how's it going?
The next time I guess that we will have training, it would be more helpful to us if we, instead of, because we are in the transportation agencies.
Yep.
Would be nice if we don't use the vertical structure instead, roadways would be more practical to us. Like when you're talking about tax tool, all those mechanical, electrical, would be paving, striping, signs, BMPs, traffic control. That way it would be more practical to us and we can more or less relate.
Totally. And that's some good feedback. I kind of just put this together last minute to give you guys a look into here, but definitely for any future training that we went into, could definitely focus on things that are more applicable to your team.
Yeah, and Keith and you and I can sync back up on those types of efforts as well. I know we have a few other moving pieces with the other infrastructure team members at Autodesk, so we can certainly plan that moving forward.
Sounds good.
Cool. Well, I appreciate everyone's time today. And like I said, we've got this session recorded, so I can send this out to you guys in case you do want to review everything. And then Teresa and I can make sure that we get you guys some of that intro material, whether it's past recorded monthly sessions that we've done, or just links to some videos for you guys to help get you started some more.
Yep. And everybody that threw their email in the chat, I already have it. So again, we'll send that follow-up to you all.
Cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you, Blake. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.